Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the desert. No intro today, guys, because in today's video we're gonna get road dogged by delusion, entitlement, narcissism, and insanity. Alright? So, are you ready, guys? Ampu, are you ready? Ampu is not ready, and with my gift of foresight, I can say that the future does not bode well for my friend Ampu. But gentlemen, let's get started straight ahead, and for our article story, no article story. Instead, you're gonna get a monologue from your 4,000-year-old mummy that is going to evolve into a discussion in the comments with you, my dear, intelligent, and wise, and to be honest, very handsome viewer. But guys, enough with the compliments, let's get started.
If you're a girl and you're beautiful, smart, hardworking, and driven, you are most likely single right now. And
So you can already tell that like 99.9% of women that view this describe themselves in that way.
the guys are gonna get pissed right now, but it's so true. I honestly just think the options are so limited because hear me out. So like as a girl, you want to find a partner that exceeds you in every single area. So like you want someone that looks better than you, is smarter than you, is more hardworking, has better like social characteristics. Like you look for a partner that has like better qualities than you, or
To be honest, guys, that's not even hard, alright? It's not hard. Like, to get started with all of these modern women, in the IQ department, you already win. If you're not brain dead, you already win in the IQ department. It's easy to make more money than them. I mean, wait a minute, aren't you the ones, women, who always complain about the gender pay gap, how we live in a patriarchy? So men make more than you, but at the same time, oh, I can't find a man who makes more than me. Make it make sense. But going back to the point, guys, it's not hard to outperform these harpies, alright? The problem is with their idea of who they are, right? There kicks in the delusion that enhances their idea of themselves 10,000 times fold, alright? That's the problem.
or at least like meets you. And not to be an absolute bitch of a person, but it's like when you're a girl that has all of her shit together, looks good, is hardworking, makes a lot of money, it's like, where do you go from there? There's so limited options. And then it's like the guys that are good options that would fit your standards are just cunts because like they have every option in the world. Because there's no absolute way I'm marrying someone that...
No, wait, just like you said that men who have a lot of options are cunts because they have everything in the world and all the options. Well, aren't you one of these cunts that also has too many options and is, you know, narcissistic out of the earth? I don't know, guys. You tell me.
Marrying someone that makes less money than me isn't as funny or like doesn't have as good people skills. Like there's just...
Yeah, so here ends the TikTok, guys. And of course, you can tell that this woman is very funny, alright? If you meet her in person, guys, you won't be able to start laughing. Like, this has to be one of the funniest people I've ever met. To be honest, I had to pause the video to laugh for 5 minutes before going back to it. But enough with that, guys. Enough with that. We're gonna read some comments. because the comments are even worse than the video, believe it. But let's play some gameplay, gentlemen, as I read them. First one says, "You're making me feel better about being single, lol." Yeah, that's the whole point of the video. To rake in views by having other miserable harpies just like her. Another one says, "I've concluded I'll be single forever. Tried dating guys that make less and they spend the whole relationship trying to humble you. No thanks." So what this woman in reality means with, "Oh, men are trying to humble me," they're not trying to humble her because they feel intimidated by her or anything. They're just probably trying for her to not kiss her own arse all day long. Alright, that's what they were trying to do, to bring you back to reality, unsuccessfully so, as we can see. Another one here says, my favorite comment, "Being at a top, uni for college, how does that 5-digit debt make you feel? Becoming an engineer, wow guys, we have a woman in STEM. Doing weightlifting as a hobby, it's so hard. I don't even want a man better than me, just one that doesn't get jealous / upset at my achievements." Yeah, because that's something that men do, you know, guys? They make their whole lives about bringing other women down, you know, about trying to mock their achievements and being jealous all the time. Do you relate to that, guys? No, you don't? You've literally never seen that happen? Well, me neither, guys, to be honest with you, but according to these women, that's every second man. So I don't know about that. Another one says, yes, with like 7 S's. Especially if you've also done the inner work. Well, guys, if you've been on this channel for more than 2 days, you know what inner work means. Inner work involves Chad doing some inner work as well. You have emotional intelligence. Well, yeah, you know how I feel about that. And stability. Again, stability is not a word that I will use with modern women in one sentence. You've healed from your childhood and previous relationships. So what she means by healed from previous relationships is healed from Chad rearranging her internal organs with his massive wiener. That's what healing means. Alright, she's been passed around, she's been screwed by multiple Chads, and I just want you to answer this question, guys. If this woman, Jay Funmia, comes to you and tells you, look, I've done the inner work, I am emotionally intelligent, I am stable, and I have healed from Chad's, absolutely breaking my back. Do you want to be my boyfriend? Would you accept? Alright? Would you accept? Out of all these things she mentioned, the only thing men care about, because men don't give a shit about your fake emotional intelligence that you don't really possess, and about the fact that you have healed from all these Chads. They have already used your taco, and you're trying to sell your taco at full price. So don't care if it's healed or not. It's like 30 years old and has been used by all the guys in town. Don't care. But going back, the only thing important for men is stability, which again, I hardly believe that this woman is stable, right? So much so that I'm willing to bet my whole pyramid, guys, on the fact that she is not indeed stable, but is a massive pain in the back. Alright? Another one says, preach. Where are these men at? I feel like they don't exist. Well, guys, we'll end the comments here, but you can see all of them are like this, alright? Like, we have full-scale societal, as this monster is bugging in the back, we have full-scale societal delusion from most participants of the female gender. Alright? Like, these women, guys, I tell you what, look at this alien I just killed, alright? If this alien, or some other alien of your preference, drops from the sky, and you have literally nothing in common with this alien, you don't speak the same language, he doesn't have hands, he has, I don't know, tentacles or something, like nothing in common, alright? You will have more chances at succeeding in a relationship with a random alien that just came from the universe than with these modern women. This is how detached they are from reality. They don't live in the same planet anymore. Alright? Their self-delusion exceeds all boundaries imaginable. It's impossible, guys. They are beyond the point of no return. It's impossible. But now, let's move on, guys, to our second TikTok.
Hypothetically speaking, let's just say when you were 18, you somehow get a sugar daddy and he's like 41, and on your second date, he literally gives you an Amex card with your name on it and it's limitless. And so you go and spend all this money on you and your friends, and you're filling up everybody's gas tank in the hood. And then on your third date, he wants to do the deed, and you don't know how to say no because you feel like you owe him something because you just spent all this money on his credit card. And so you end up doing it, and then he takes you to Vegas, and you go to Vegas with him, and you have like 20 something followers on TikTok at the time, and you make a TikTok and it's really funny, and he's not in it, it's just you, but you post it, it randomly blows up, it gets like 1 million views, and you're like, oh my god, my first viral video, this is so fun and so awesome. And then you post a follow-up video to like play along with the joke, and you're on his yacht in the second video, and then he sends you a message being like, is there a video of you on my daughter's phone? Why are you sending her videos? Da da da. How do you even know her? And I'm like, I didn't even know you had a daughter. Like, how old is she? And he tells you that she's 17 and you're 18. So then I explain the For You page to him, and that my video just must have ended up on her For You page. And then he gives you her username because he wants you to block her, right, so that she doesn't see your videos. And so naturally you are really curious about what the fuck is going on, and you search up her username and you stalk her TikTok naturally and her Instagram, and you see that her parents are high school sweethearts, and she literally posts videos about how they are happily in love and they're literally high school sweethearts, and like her goals for love and marriage. And she posts all these videos being like daddy's girl, and like they go on all these family trips together, and they live like the most perfect, awesome, rich people life ever. And like her birthday party was gorgeous, she's wearing all these designer clothes, and she has all these rich friends, and like So you're like, oh my God, should I say something to her because I don't want to have bad karma? And then when I'm older, I'm going to be the wife with a husband that cheats on me with a bunch of younger girls, and none of the girls are going to come forward because I didn't come forward. So
No. Don't worry, you're not gonna get married. That is not going to happen, so you don't have to worry about that. There's a minute left of this TikTok, guys. I'm just letting it play, so you... Again, we're absolutely getting raw dogged by the insanity today. I just want you to think, this woman is 18. I think 18, she mentioned. And she's very beautiful, right? If this woman wasn't clinically insane, she could... Guys, she could be with, like, what, 90% of men in society. She could pick any of them for him to commit. You know what I mean, guys? Instead, she goes and does this fatherless behavior. Very shameful. If I was her father, I would absolutely honestly disown her. Don't care, you've crossed the line. But I'm not her father, gracefully, you know. But guys, can you, this last minute, all right, I want you to think this is your daughter. If you are able to take it, right? If you don't want to, don't. But just put yourself in the shoes of her father and how that must feel. Absolutely disgusting.
You are so conflicted on like what the moral, ethical thing to do is, because you know that if you say something, you're literally gonna like...
Oh yeah, guys, we all know that she spends a lot of time thinking about the moral consequences of her own actions. This is why she prostitutes herself at the age of 18. This is why. And she sleeps with 40-year-old men that she doesn't even know. Like on the third date, she doesn't even know him. He could be a serial unaliver. I mean, there are cases of women, guys, that are not to blame in any way, shape, or form for these bad things that happen. And you're gonna get what I mean in a second. But honestly, on the other hand, you have these women that go sleeping around with men over twice their age, and they don't even know them. Like, do you realize what potential danger there is? Do you even stop to think about that for a moment? Like, if you want people and society to take you seriously about those topics, don't put yourself in harm's way, all right?
Like, ruin this girl's life and her idea of who her father is, but also it's not your fault, it's his fault.
Guys, sorry, one last comment. You know what I mean by the whole discussion that we had just a second ago? But Ted Bundy, right, one of the most famous serial unalivers, this is how he did it. He was attractive and he was very charmful. That was his strongest weapon. He was very charmful. And these stupid women just fell for it. All right. Like, it's so easy. If you are a serial unaliver and you are attractive, in today's society, you can unalive most of these women because they always fall for it. They're so stupid. They don't even care who they're sleeping with, who they're going to, you know, their place with. Like, this man was over twice her age. She doesn't care, guys. You know, so that's how Ted Bundy did it, all right? If you ever wondered, wow, how was Ted Bundy so charming to women? Well, he knew what to do, and then he did what he did because of these women's inability to protect themselves. Now, let's continue.
Of who her father is, but also it's not your fault, it's his fault, and it just like, don't shoot the messenger, you know what I mean? But you just feel so conflicted, so you end up not saying anything. You never talk to him again. You never send her a message. 3 years go by, and every now and then you think of her and you search up her Instagram and her TikTok and you do a little stalking just to see like if they're still together and if anything's come out, because you know that you were not the only girl that he was seeing and there were so many others. And you just checked on her today and you see that they just celebrated their 23rd anniversary and she is still daddy's girl and her parents are still happily in love and her mom is literally so pretty and she looks like the sweetest woman ever, and you're just like, how do I go about this? What would you do? Would you do anything? What's the moral thing to do? What's the ethical thing to do? I know the truth sets you free and like everyone deserves to know the truth, but like, is it your place to tell them the truth, or like what do you do? Do you just say like none of my business, like, or do you come forward and say something because genuinely you have no fucking idea and it literally haunts you sometimes? So this is all hypothetical, but what would you do?
Yeah, right, here ends the TikTok. What will you do? What I will do is not be a 3 or 4 in the first place. This post has 1 million likes. Sorry, 1,000. No, 1 million. Yeah, 1 million likes. Holy crap. And of course, I'm not even gonna open the comments, alright? But you can guess that 99% of them are defending the woman, which Yes, the man is an a-hole. Cheating is disgusting. I don't know why you will do that to your wife. If you want to cheat, don't get married in the first place. But that's not to say that this woman is not a massive 304, right? That's the topic of this video. There are a lot of cheaters on this world. There are a lot, too many. But you are the person in question. Like, you're sharing this story. I'm not going to think about the cheaters that always exist and always have existed. I'm going to think about how big of a 304 you are for even dealing with this man. The best thing you can do, don't get involved with these cheaters. Oh, I didn't know he was married. Yeah, don't sleep with someone, you know, from 3 days or 3 dates or whatever. And you might avoid that, you massive 304. But anyway, guys, the point of this whole video is that this woman coincidentally did something that I watched yesterday, one of my favorite YouTubers talk about. So one of my favorite YouTubers, I'm going to leave the video link down in the description because it's a very good video that deals with the Me Too movement, with feminism, with all things. I will recommend you watch it. But on that video, this person talked about how there was this another woman, and I forgot her name, damn it. But let's switch on to our article story, guys, and I'm just gonna show you the woman. Alexandra Cooper, alright? Alexandra Cooper, she had her podcast that brings millions of dollars, alright? I don't know why, she's very uninteresting. But this woman, and this is her spouse, actually, which I'm gonna talk about in a second. This woman, you see her here on screen, she did the same behavior, right? What she did was, she talked on her podcast about going to France to meet some dude she doesn't even know. She has just spoken to him like a few times. And she went there, and they didn't like each other. You know, this woman and this other Frenchman, they didn't like each other. But what she did was, she felt nervous, she didn't know how to handle the situation, and she ended up having S3X with him for a full week before she traveled back to her place. So it's the same that this woman that we just covered. If you remember, she started the video by saying how, well, she was just going on dates with this guy, but well, he bought her a lot of things, so, well, I cannot not give him the S3X because he's paid so much, so yeah, I'm gonna give him the S3X. I'm gonna be a professional stitute about it. You know, they did the very same thing. If you watch the video, you're gonna relate to this TikTok we covered in a minute. But the point here is that women lack authority, right, in their lives. But just before that, guys, sorry to switch the topic so much. I just want to talk about this man because this is the man that decided to marry this massive harpy that is this Alex Cooper. Alright, and you can see, guys, that this woman is not very intelligent. Just go watch her podcast. She's one of the stupidest people alive, just like every person that is an influencer. And so this guy is not with her because of her intelligence. He's not with her because of her university degree, you know, referencing the first video and all the comments saying, I have a university degree, but men never, you know, there are no men to meet my level. Well, you see that this man is not with her because of her intelligence, her university degree. He's not with her because of her money, which this woman has probably billions of dollars with her crappy podcast. But you can see right here, or maybe you can't, this man, Matthew Kaplan, the simp who decided to marry her, is a producer, and he is the founder and CEO of Ace Entertainment. So this guy is probably a billionaire as well, right? You damn well know that he's not with her for the money. He already has money. And we all know that women's money is not really men's money anyway, so he's not with her because of that. Guys, the only reason why this massive simp is with this woman is because of her attractiveness. That's it. That's the whole deal. So if you're attractive as a woman, there will be someone willing to marry you, even if you are the biggest 304 in town, just like this woman is. Alright? You can be the equivalent of a street worker. If you are attractive, a simp will marry you. If you are attractive and a good woman, then you are eligible for not only simps, but you are eligible for some very high quality men. Alright? Traditional and manly and attractive and tall and handsome and all that. I'm of the belief that women should date up. I'm of the belief that women naturally feel attracted to men who are better than them in every scenario. But the problem, again, is their delusion. Alright? And to all the ladies saying, I have a university degree, nobody cares. be attractive. Even if you are 304, you can be with a simp. If you're not with a 304, you are a perfect woman in everyone's eyes, all right? Attractive and good to be around. Perfect combination. But guys, enough about this crappy marriage that is absolutely not going to last, as you know. Let's go back now to the main point, which is that women lack authority, all right? Both this woman and this other one we covered on our video,
in
this one, both of them lack authority. Both of them were in a situation in which they didn't know what to do and how to handle it. So they ended up sleeping with a guy, being absolutely confused and lost about it. And this is something that is dealt with more in depth in the video that I've linked down below. Again, I recommend you watch it, but I'm going to further comment on it, guys. And here's the thing. Women just need men. There is a reason why most religions, honestly, and also the laws, at least time ago, were focused or centered or at least put high value in there being boundaries for women, how they dress, how they speak, how they act, all right? Like in the past, a few centuries ago, there was a very, let's say, strict etiquette for women. So for example, men were allowed to swear, women weren't allowed to swear, or a man swearing was not as impactful or badly viewed as a woman swearing, all right? Things like this, like it was expected out of women to be more strict about it, more moral, you know? And the reason for that, guys, I think, is because women by nature are just more unstable. And so when you don't put any boundaries in place, when you don't hold them to a certain standard, they just degenerate, all right? Men also degenerate to a certain level, but to a much lesser degree, if you ask me. Like, if you give both men and women full liberty to do whatever they want, they're probably both going to degenerate. But men usually, you know, they try to follow boundaries more. They abide by them more naturally, while women don't. And we see this reflected in today's society. Most modern women are so entitled, they are so lost and confused, and I really don't have a very rich grammar to describe the level of degeneracy that we have in today's women, all right? But it's a byproduct of the dissembling of the family unit. These women, they don't want to listen to their boyfriends. They call that controlling and manipulative. Most of them don't have fathers, or even if they have fathers, they are one of those fathers that are, you know, blue-pilled, and they are simps, and they are this new version of a emasculated man that has no authority to himself, right? So essentially they're not there. They have a father, but the father is not present, is what I'm meaning to say. And this is why these women are so just honestly disgusting to be around. If I have to be honest, guys, like, they're so degenerate. And that's the whole thing. Women need men. Without men, women just degenerate. And look, I know, guys, it's very patriarchal what I just said. Just to give some, you know, just to counterbalance that a bit, if you will. Men also need women. And for example, men who don't have women or don't marry tend to be more spontaneous, more short-sighted. You know, that they tend to be more impulsive. They don't control their emotions as well. Things like this, you know. So usually women, when they marry to a man, he settles down and he focuses on deeper things in life, all right? So this is not a one-way thing. Both men and women highly benefit from one another. But men, even when they are alone, what I'm meaning to say is that as a man, being impulsive may not be that bad. You know, if you're not a child, if you're not a grown child, there's probably no big issue with being a bit more impulsive by not having a woman. With women, however, the lack of a man makes these women, guys, as I mentioned, very disgusting to be around. And you can see this in most women nowadays, because they have no authority in their lives to lead them, because they have no one to put boundaries and hold them to a certain level, moral level. They become these massive harpies and gargoyles, which you can see all around. So again, this whole thing is because these women don't have a man in their lives, which they need. And it's come a point where these women have become undateable, right? The lack of a paternal figure in these women's lives has made them undateable. And not only in these women's lives on an individual level, that they lack a father or a boyfriend, but also on a societal level, gentlemen, you know? Like, on a societal level, men are just muted. As a guy, you're not allowed to have an opinion. You're not allowed to tell a woman what to do, give her advice, God forbid, you know. You're not allowed to do that because that is, guys, as we all know, very misogynistic. It's very patriarchal. Don't do it. So society, feminism, modern woke culture, all of these things have tried to mute men, even on a societal level. So forget the fact that these women on an individual level lack a paternal figure to lead them in life. Also on a societal level, they are left with nothing. So these women, guys, are the equivalent of a orphan child who's never had a good father and a good mother to put boundaries in place, to teach him, basic education, all that. And this kid, this orphan, all right, becomes a very, very bad kid, very obnoxious, very uneducated, very stupid, and even dangerous, all right? Very bratty. So that's what women nowadays are. They are the equivalent of this orphan. They don't have any sort of male leadership in their lives that can make them become better women. So they are left with only women's bad traits, you know? They don't achieve any of the good female traits that result in self-work and also the influence of a man. So they are left with only the bad aspects of women. Gossip, being too entitled, being too delusional, being too insecure and unstable all the time, creating problems out of thin air, walking red flags on legs, gentlemen, are these women. But here concludes my monologue. I hope it was interesting, gentlemen, and leave me your opinions about this below. Again, I highly recommend you watch that video because it's very insightful from a red pill perspective. But now, guys, I'll leave you off here. Thank you for watching. Again, leave me a comment about this discussion, and thanks for making Ampu's day better. He passed away looking at these women, which were absolutely horrendous, but he got on his legs to say goodbye to you, and also to beg you for a like and a subscribe. Well, thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.